y todo eso. Ok, vamos a empezar. All right, so let me just turn that this way just a hair. And let's start with your feet just a little bit wider than sitting bone apart. And I want you to begin just a little gentle rocking. So taking your weight into one leg, taking your weight into the opposite leg. Good, and feel your feet push off from the floor. So we go toe ball, heel, heel ball, toe. Good, if it feels nice, kind of put your hands on your ribs, stretch the arms out. Good, just start kind of waking up your arms here as you go. Good, I'm feeling that toe ball heel sensation. So muscles of the feet beginning to wake up. Good, and then from here, let's go ahead and plant our weight, plant our 2 feet, and then you can take your hips all the way around. So imagine you're leading this movement with your tailbone. And we'll make a big circle one way. Good, if it feels nice, you kind of let your torso move in opposition to the hips. So, yeah, just kind of letting all that soft tissue soften up just a hair more. Take it the other way a time or 2 more. Good. And then from here, let's go ahead. Inhale. Take your 2 arms up and turn your heels in as your knees move out. And then exhale, fly that up. So let's inhale, deep low bend. Exhale, lift. Good. Remember, especially as you are lifting, you're going to push the heels down deep into the floor. Good. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Hold down here for just a moment and then sweep your torso all the way around and pulling up and then sweeping your torso all the way around the other way. Let's take this a few times. So now think about stabilizing your hips as you create that movement up there in the torso. Good. One more time this direction. Beautiful. Good. So now we'll come down once again. Opposite elbows, or same elbow, I should say, stretches to your knee, stretches to the thigh. Let the opposite arm reach up. Good. Inhale and exhale. So feeling the sides of your back stretch. Inhale and exhale. Good. Try that just a few more times, feeling the chest, the armpit area, getting a big stretch. Oh, we forgot. Yeah, we had, so Margarita's in Colombia, April in New York, Cindy in California. We are well represented, the rest of us in Austin. Let's inhale. And now exhale, get a little low. And then move your torso forward. And then you're going to curl your tailbone under. Let the head come down. And then exhale, reach head. The head and the tailbone lift. Good. So if you want to turn your toes slightly in here, that might be more comfortable. Exhale, rounding underneath. Inhale, coming, reaching all the way up. Good. Try that just a couple more times. Good. And then from here, let's hold. Sweep your 2 arms out and reach to one side, reach to the other. Good. And again, now this might feel like a little more work through the inner thighs, the backs of the legs. So you're just sending your weight and keeping your spine lifted. Good. So now take one shoulder as you bend towards the opposite knee. Inhale, come right back up. Exhale, stretch and reach towards the other leg. Good. So big stretch through the inner thigh. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, stretch and reach. Good. Inhale up and exhale, stretch and reach. Inhale, bring your spine all the way back up, nice and tall. I'm going to bring my right hand to my left wrist and just pull all the way around. And come up on the other side. Now switch sides, change directions, move it all the way around. And slowly coming up on the other side. Now 2 hands together back behind you. Open the chest. Squeeze the scapula together. Let the sternum bone rise up. And then exhale la cabeza abajo. Good. So let your head come down. Let the arms stretch. Reach out away from you. Good. Let's inhale. Stretch. Take your arms forward now. And one arm comes up. Good. Big long stretch. Exhale. Release. And the opposite arm comes up. Beautiful. And then the 2 arms right back through your center. Exhale. Let's step our feet in just a hair. And let the pelvis come down. Good. So you're going to get low. And maybe even let the arms come here to the inner thighs. So elbows come to the inner thighs. And you're just going to rock the hips ever so slightly here. Good. And then let's push down as we let ourselves rise all the way up. Can we try that a couple more times? So exhale, pelvis lowers. Good. Your arms can pull in. Good. So you're letting all the inner thigh connective tissue get a big stretch. And then when you come up, go ahead, push through the feet to rise all the way up. Let's try that again. Last time, just coming down here. Good. Letting the weight of your sits bones stretch and drop, letting your low back release. And then from there, once again, sweeping the arms, coming all the way back up. Let's turn. So now this is the left side of me facing the computer. I'm going to step back with my left leg. Inhale, take my 2 arms up. Good. And then exhale, reverse that. So the arms come reaching back. Good. Inhale, inspirando arriba, arriba. Good. So feeling the front of the hips stretch. And exhale, coming forward, letting the head dive forward as the hips move back. Working on feeling, finding stability. Inhale, all the way up. And exhale, coming all the way back down. Now, if it feels nice, go ahead, rest your hands here for a moment on your low back. Breathe. Good. And then exhale. Take your weight right back up. Arms up. Let's pivot in the feet. And then that same sequence on the other side. So inhale, stretch, reach the arms up. Exhale, reach the arms and the head in opposition to one another. You can also think about opposition through your foot and your hips. I'm pushing down with my foot, reaching back with my hips. Inhale, coming up. Enjoy a back bend, a long stretch of the abdomen. Good. And then exhale, float it forward once again. Spread, reach out through the toes. Press in through the center of the heel. Inhale, coming all the way up. Good. Exhale, reaching, reaching, reaching. Good. Inhale, coming right back up. Excellent. Now this time, we're going to take our arms, reach them onto the low back, stretch for a moment. Let the head go completely. Let the hips rise up as the head lowers down. And then we'll place 2 hands on the floor and step that foot back. So now you're kind of more in a down dog. Good. All right. Let the head dangle here in your down dog as you reach back with the arms and lift up with your tailbone. Beautiful. Let the two knees come down. And now you're going to let the hips lower as your head lifts. Try that just a few times. Move the weight of the body back, opening your chest, reaching through the fingers. Good. So find length in the back with the tailbone up. And then exhale, let the hips come down as the head comes up. Stay connected to your belly muscles so you're not just dropping. Good. Exhale, reach that weight back. Inhale. And exhale, coming forward once again. Good. And exhale, reaching the weight right back. Good. Curl the 10 toes underneath you. Reach out into a plank pose here. Hold that plank for a breath or two. Now lift the hips and tail. Take it up. And now the left leg, let's let it rise all the way up. Good. And then let the knee bend. Let the hips slightly open. And then from here, I'll place my left foot behind my left hand, spiral the right arm up, and find myself here in a warrior two. So let's ground down in this warrior two. Press to the heel, talon, ball of the foot. Good. And then reach weight into the outside of your back foot. As you bend and come down, opposite elbow here, or same elbow, ¿qué digo yo? Comes to your thigh, and then the top arm reaches all the way over. Beautiful. Inhale. Now from here, I'm going to lift my torso right back. Come away from the leg, long stretch. Muy bien. Let's bring that right back up. And then lengthen out through your left leg as you come down. I'll step my back foot in slightly. Good. So think about when you're in this triangle pose, letting the rib cage extend out over the thigh. Beautiful. Take your top hand to your hip if you like. Step the back foot in just a hair. And exhale, reach the opposite hand out. And exhale, let the right leg rise up. Right arm can rise up as well. Good. And then you'll exhale, release all those bones back down. Push through the feet. Spiral the arms. We're going to come over the opposite leg. Good. Now step that foot back. And we're going to go back to that head to tail little drill. So bring the knees down. Reach the hips back. Long stretch. So when your head goes up and when your tailbone goes up and the heart goes down, you'll feel the scapula kind of slide together here and a big stretch in the chest and upper back. That's what we want. Now reach out into your hands and let the head come up as the hips lower. Good. Exhale. Reach that back once again. Try this just a couple times. If it feels nice, kind of shake, release the hips above you. Good. And then from there, once again, you'll let your Head lift and your hips come down. Good. Last time. Inhale here. And then this time you're going to curl your toes underneath you, lift out into a plank pose, a nice long plank. Hold that plank for just a few breaths. You can reach through the heels a couple times, keeping your head lifted. Good. And then exhale. Let the hips rise all the way up. So get a big stretch through the backs of the legs. Good. And then from there, raise the right leg. Let it come high. Let the hip open as the knee bends. And then we're going to place the right foot behind your right hand. Turn your left toes out. And then sweep the left arm all the way up. And then let's let the body settle into a warrior two. Hip bones facing forward. Toes facing out on your right leg. And then you're reaching in this back foot to the outside edge of the foot towards the fifth metatarsal. Keep a lift up through the inner thigh. And then let yourself, the pelvis, the head descend right there between your two strong legs. Good. Let's exhale. Bring one arm over. Then the sides of your back stretch. Good. Exhale. Come float away. Good. And then from there, you'll inhale, float it right back up. This time, reaching, finding Trikonasana. Triangle pose. So think about your hips. Can you move them slightly forward? Can you move the head back? Good. Can you take your top hand now to your hip? Step the back foot in just a hair. Walk your bottom hand out. Lift the leg. Pull the shoulder blades onto the back. Take the opposite arm. Take it up. Good. Exhale. Set weight into that foot and then bring yourself all the way back up into standing. Walk your 2 feet in for a moment. We'll do a couple little poses of external hips and perhaps external hips with a forward bend. So I'm going to take weight into my right leg, lift my left heel up for a moment, look to the thigh, and exhale. See about pushing foot to the thigh as you stretch and let the knee open to the side. 2 arms can float up. Give this a few breaths. Good. And then the arms can release. Let the leg come down. Take a moment. Swivel in the hips all the way. Good. Take it around the other way. Again, feeling the back, the sacroiliac area releasing here. Beautiful. All right, let's try it on the other side. Put some weight in the opposite leg. Move the inner thigh up and out. And now exhale, see if that foot and thigh want to come together. Your 2 sides aren't twins. They may feel different. Pay attention to your knees. Good. Try to create some reach here through the arms. exhale, releasing the arms, releasing the foot. Once again, take a little swivel. Good. Swivel it around the other way. Good. And then let's try this. I'm going to put weight once again in my right foot. Turn my left heel. And now this foot may want to kind of come up the leg. Good. It may not. That might feel good too, might not feel good. So just know you could also try this seated. Inhale, the arms come up. And exhale, you could now dive over your leg. Let the head go. And this should feel like a real stretch there. You can also try this with one hand lifted. Good. Exhale. Let's push down with your heel as you let the head come up. Good. Exhale, release. And once again, swivel the hips. Take it around. One way, take it around the other way. Good. So remember, if for whatever reason your knees, your hips are not feeling stable, sit down on the mat and try these poses. You can do the exact same thing seated. Inhale. And then exhale, just open the knee for a moment. Bring the foot up to the thigh. Exhale, let the kneecap stretch down. So what you're doing is you're creating a little pressure there between the foot and your muslo. Good. If you like, let the two arms come up. And then let's fold over this leg. Good. And then once again, if it feels nice, let that arm maybe come up your back. Just challenging your balance in a little different way. Exhale, releasing it, letting it come down. Get a good connection there in your supporting foot, in your heel through the ball of the foot. And then you push down with the foot as you let the head rise up. Exhale, release the leg. Good. And now this time, everybody take a second and just circle the hip in the hip socket. Good. Change the direction. Trying to find some steadiness there as the leg moves. Good. Shake it, shake it, shake it. And then same thing on the other side. You're going to let the leg lift and circle. Good. Feel support on the other side. Take the leg the other way. Good. So now I'm going to step into my right leg. Let my left leg go behind me for a moment. Place my hands on my low back here. Exhale. Allow the sternum to rise up. Good. And then gather weight in your right leg as you allow the left leg to lift up behind you. Give this just a few breaths. Good. If it feels nice, now let the hands come down to the floor. Let that leg lift all the way into a standing split. Good. Try not to hyperextend your supporting leg, but again, ground through the heel as you lift the opposite thigh up in the air. A good way to connect with your inner thigh, which will help you keep that leg up, is to reach through the big toe base joint. Reach out, 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 and that'll help you get the leg a little higher. From here, you can bend the knee, and then just slowly bring yourself up into standing. Stretch that leg out. Inhale, and then let's pivot. Try that on the other side. The hands here to your sacrum lumbar area for a moment. Exhale, let your head come back. Good. And then from here, you're going to gather weight in that front leg. You let the arms come out. I have been really liking Warrior 3 with my hands on my low back these days. Exhale. See about lifting from back leg up. Breathing into it. Exhale, allowing the hands to come down. And then once you've found this position, lifting the leg up. And again, you can externally rotate the hip here, so it doesn't need to stay closed. Open and reach through the big toe base joint on the top leg. Push deeply through the heel on the bottom leg so that knee doesn't hyperextend, but really you're finding all the length that's possible there. Let's go ahead, rotate, come down, bend the knee. Exhale, bring yourself to a standing position and right back through your center. Let's turn the 10 toes, face them in. Inhale the arms up. Now this time, reach your hands to the backs of your heels. Let the head go. Pull the elbows up and feel a real stretch through your neck and shoulders. So that action of pulling the elbows up towards the ceiling is going to allow for a deeper release in the neck. Good. Now let's take opposite hand to ankle. Good. So if I've got my left hand here at my right ankle, now I'm going to take my right arm forward. And really get a deep stretch underneath my shoulder blade and scapula. Good. Let's exhale, release, let that hand come down. Same thing. This right hand is going to reach out towards your left heel now, and the hand is gripping the ankle, the opposite hand is pushing into the floor, and then you are bringing your head underneath you as much as you can. So it's almost like you're turning to see the inside of your armpit. So you get a deep stretch on the upper back. Wonderful. So now from here, I'm going to walk my two hands back out and then bring my sits bones to the floor. So now this is my right side facing the computer. Good. Let's inhale. We'll take your hands for a moment to your big toes. So inhale, sit up, lengthen the spine, hands here at the big toes. Take a breath, and then if you like, bring your weight onto the sits bone stretch and extend the opposite leg out. Good. Pull the arm bone down the back. Good. Exhale, allow it to release. Inhale. And exhale, try that stretch on the opposite leg. Good, so the arm bone's pulling down the back as the heel is extending and reaching away from you. Upper spine wants to really live in extension here. Beautiful. Good, inhale. So try to watch your spine and tilt your weight back. So you want to round and tilt back as little as possible here as you lift two heels. And then you're going to extend two heels out and away, a long reach. Give this a few breaths. Wonderful. Exhale, release. Now the soles of the feet can come together. And now your fingertips can reach out to the sides. Press the heels into one another as you glide and let the pelvis just lift above your two heels. So this doesn't need to be a huge lift. You just want to feel the shin bones, your pantorrillas are really anchored there into the floor as you take your sitting bones towards your pelvis. Beautiful. Exhale, release. Let that now come down to your forearms. And once again, you're just going to rise up And let your sits bones lift. Good, so deep opening in your pelvis. Good, exhale, bringing your feet together. Come up for a moment. I'm gonna reach my two legs out, so now I'm in a sort of straddle position. Inhale, the arms come all the way up. Good. Hands gonna reach out towards your big toe. Top arm's gonna come overhead. Janushirasana. So now if you've got your hand on the toes, hold the elbow up and let the head come in between the two arms. While you're here, in any case, drop the opposite thigh into the floor. Exhale. Allow the body to float right back up. Let's see if we can find that on the other side. Stretch, reach nice and long. Good, over the leg. Good, and then same thing, that top arm can roll up. And send breaths down low so you can really stretch your back, sides of the hips, etc. Good. Exhale, release, bringing yourself back up nice and tall. Cross your two ankles, bring the knees underneath you. Good. And I'm going to put a blanket now. It's over here. My daughter was doing some rearranging. In the center of my mat. And let's just practice a few things. So, forearms can come down. Good. And the outsides of the hands, the pinkies, can reach out into the floor. So just feel that as a firming, strong action in the upper back. Lift the tailbone up high. Good. And just hold on to this sensation here. If you like, everybody take a moment and lift your hips up as you deeply press your forearms down. Good. One more big breath. And then exhale, release. Good. Now you'll interlace your fingers, move the hands here, down deep into the mat. And then exhale, let the top of your head come down. And just feel the weight here, supported by your shoulder blades, supported by the upper back. And then lift the hips. So while you're here with the hips lifted, if you want to now lift the head slightly and bring the center of the head onto the floor as you move your tailbone over your head as you bring your two knees up. So maybe you just want to work on holding the knees up. Maybe it feels nice to extend the legs. When and as you feel ready, you can release the two legs back down. Place the feet on the floor. Stretch back and away. Good. Everybody release your neck fully, totally. Inhale, bring your two hands forward for a moment. And now you're going to bring the right knee underneath you as you slide the left leg back. And we'll walk this foot up a little. So again, a pigeon pose to stretch out the hips. So I'm going to start moving. If I've got my right leg forward, I'm going to move my left hip down. And then let the weight of my body hang out here. If it's uncomfortable in any way, you can put a pillow underneath your right side, any kind of prop, and that will help you level out your hips as you stretch. Good. So we're going to move through a strong core. Push your hands back up. Let the head stretch. Now away from the floor. Gaze moving up. Good. Push through the hands. Curl your back toes underneath you. Exhale, lift. Here we go. We'll try that on the other side. So now I'm going to take my left foot behind my right hand and let my hips melt down towards the floor. Good. And then from here again, try to move the hips a little bit side to side. Good. So now what would happen is if I was feeling really tight or uncomfortable in my hips, I'd prop up this sitting bone with a pillow. And that will help me balance my pelvis just a little bit. Good. And then as you feel comfortable, bringing the palms down. Just feeling the whole body kind of melt down towards the floor. Good. And then from here, we'll push our hands right back up. So as you push weight into the floor through your hands, let the head rise up and feel a stretch through the chest and throat. Good. The back toes are going to curl under you. Lift the hips and pelvis up. Good. Now from here, I'm going to bring one hip down and come to face the computer. Rowan really wants to know what we're doing here. Okay, so now let's work a little bit on lotus again. We did this last week and maybe it'll feel good. So I'm gonna bring my right heel right in line with my sitting bone and then bring my left foot into the hip crease. Good. So the first thing you want to do when you're here, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, pull the shoulder blades together and let the knee joint open as much as it will on its own. So you would never take your hands and shove on your knee, but you can use your inner thigh muscles here to bring the knee joint closer to the floor. The other part of you want to pay attention to is the fifth metatarsal. Let it move up on this foot into the hip crease as much as you can. Good. So you could try right now, just lifting your pelvis up, and you might get an adjustment in the hip. Good. And then from there, let's exhale. Bring your two hands forward. Good. So you're going to reach towards one leg, pull the elbows, los codos afuera. Good. So you could stay in this expression of the pose, or you could take this arm. So it's the same hand of the bent leg and reach behind you, shoulders permitting, and come and stretch back. Good. Pull back with the opposite arm. Good. So when you pull back with the elbow, that's how you get into that shoulder scapula area. Inhale. Let's come up for a moment. And now the extended leg, you could pull that foot back, place it under the knee and just stretch. Or you could pull it back and place it over the leg. Now you know your hips are really working. When you can get that foot over, you know you've basically really opened your hips if you can get the foot over the thigh without having to use your hands. That's the dream, but doesn't always happen that way. Certainly not for me, but today it did, so it's a good sign. So now your knees, whoo, can you lift them? What's happening there with those legs? Good. All right, and then can you lift the pelvis the other way just a few times? Good. Good. Okay, now can you bring your hands under your shoulders and consider lifting the pelvis up from the floor here. I'm trying not to create too much restriction down here, so I'm not going to do a whole ton of this. But just lifting the sits bones, holding for a few seconds, perhaps releasing, taking a breath, stretching the arms. Nothing will get your blood going, like trying to lift the weight, like deadlift essentially, the weight of your lower body. And you're just paying attention to, you can't use your legs here to support you at all. So this is just your abdomen and upper body. Try it out. Lift again if you'd like. Exhale, take it right back down. And maybe one other time. Good. Inhale. And exhale. So even if you don't lift it all the way up, just that intention can be pretty invigorating. Good. So now, to come out of this pose, you can simply unfold the legs, or I'm going to turn this way. You can bring your kneecaps to the floor, take your two hands forward, melt the hips, unfold the knees, exhale, lift it right back up. Good. So to face the computer, so I can explain this more, I'm bringing one hip down, coming right back to face forward. So now I'm going to leave my left leg in extension, take my right foot up to the inner thigh. Good. So all of these same things apply here. I'm going to first begin by kind of getting the fifth metatarsal there, the outside of my foot, to move towards the hip crease. That's a big stretch for your ankle. And then once you're there, you can kind of lightly move the knee joint down. This is the engagement of your external rotators. Your inner thigh muscles are elongating here also. Good. So try that. A couple more. If it feels nice, you can create a little lift here of your pelvis. Good. Exhale, release. Allow it to come down. And then, so once again, this opposite leg. Oh, wait. Let's go and stretch over it first. Good. So see about how much you can feel your sternum. El esternón está estirando hacia la pantorrilla. Good. Same arm. Reaches all the way back behind you. Maybe it comes around and touches your toes, maybe not. You don't know. We don't know. Sometimes it happens that way. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And now from here, you can tip that weight back once again. The bottom foot can come, or that extended leg, right? It can come under the knee here. Or you can take it over the opposite thigh. Good. And then you're on a lotus. You're in a lotus on the other side. This may feel really different than your lotus on the other side. I know my other side is better. Good. Take a second. Feel the shoulder blades on your back. Again, you could lift your hips and pelvis. You could lift the femur bones. Good. And then, if all of that is feeling fantastic, place your hands here on the floor under your shoulders. Try a little lift of the pelvis. Maybe 3, 2, 1. Right back down. Stretch the arms. Even if your intention is, I'm just going to take some of the weight of my lower body here into my hands, that's good too. Inhale and exhale. Lift it just a hair. Good. Right back down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Stretch, reaching the fingers. And exhale, pushing with the hands. And you can release. So now, again, you can just unfold the legs, or you can take your Hips forward and unfold. Lift and stretch your two hips out. From here, go ahead, pedal your feet right and left just to get the ankles back where they were. Good. And feel a big stretch through your Achilles. So you'll notice it's a deeper stretch with one leg just slightly lifted off of the floor. So you've still got the gravity, allowing the calf and the Achilles to get a good stretch. Beautiful. Exhale, the hips come right back down. And then today for me, for Halasana and shoulder stand, I am going to prop my pelvis as I lift. Again, that's just to put less pressure on my low abdomen so I can get my baby to turn. So if I'm going to go into shoulder stand prop, I'm putting a pillow right there underneath my sits bones. And everybody take a second to relax here. Pull your shoulder blades onto the back and feel your head move down. So the top of the head moves into the floor. Feel your neck release so it's nice and long. And from here, you can lift your two knees and maybe just extend the legs up. Good, you can do this with your pelvis on the floor, or today, like I said, I'm going propped. And then exhale as you feel ready. Take the pelvis overhead and then pause for a moment in a little halasana. Good. And then your hands here to your hips. And then you can take your hips back into your hands. Let the two legs rise up. So just breathe for a moment, nice and comfortable. Feeling the weight of the body balanced in your two hands. And then if it feels nice, you can lengthen the legs a hair more. Tuck the shoulder blades onto the back. Good. And then exhale. Allow the legs to come down. Good. And slowly allow the pelvis to return either to the floor or to your prop. Good. So now I'm going to put my feet down here on the floor. Pull my arms into my sides and then exhale. Just let your pelvis rise up for a moment. Good. Exhale, allow that to release. I'll take my prop now for a moment to the side. And then if you'd like, your two arms can come up overhead. You can place your palms under your shoulders. So if you're going to work on Urdhva Dhanurasana, the fingertips move back towards the body. The elbows pull in, the feet anchor into the floor, and then you're going to exhale, let the pelvis come up a hair. Pushing down, you can then come onto the top of the head. And then if it feels comfortable, you can push through the feet and give yourself a few breaths. Urdhva Dhanurasana. Exhale, release the weight of the body, return to the floor. The two hands come up for a moment. Bring your fingertips to the sides of the rib cage. So you've turned your hands inward. Stretch your wrists in this direction. Good. Exhale, release the arms. Now take your 2 feet wider than the mat and let one knee pull in so you feel a stretch through the psoas. Feel a little foot there. Exhale, stretch, reach the opposite way. Good. Now let the soles of the feet open. Let the two kneecaps move apart. And then the legs can open out and we can close our eyes. And just take a few full deep breaths down deep in the abdomen. So send the breaths down low, almost like you were gonna inhale all the way to the pubic bone. And let your spine lengthen as you exhale. Again, take a big breath all the way down to your pubic bone. Exhale, letting the back relax and lengthen. Now move your breath wide out towards your hips and your ribs. Now move your breath full. So each complete inhale feels like you've taken it all the way up into the lungs, the collarbones. You're stretching all that soft tissue. Hold that inhale for a moment and then exhale, let it go completely. Try that a couple more times. Inhale fully and exhale completely. Last time, inhaling fully, holding that inhale, and exhale, letting it go. When you feel ready, you can begin to wiggle your fingers, your toes, circle your ankles, circle your wrists, hug the knees to the chest. And then roll to one side. And we'll press up in front, seated. Hands can move together. Bow the head, close the eyes. Cierra los ojos. Your practice is a gift, everyone. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.